Greetings, unsettled souls. Sam, I be Gangi here. We're doing political commentary for the Media Speaks. We got the low def up there, high def over there. Guys, I am exhausted. It's been a long week. Not particularly a good way. So I guess the word of the day, we'll start off with it, is exhausted. If you reply, you'll get a copy of any of the 3 Dunce Cap awards that you like the most. I will send you a copy of them. Christelle and I will autograph them. Maybe we'll send you bumper stickers or something. Word of the day, exhausted. Put it in the comment line. First one to do it gets it. But you also have to send your address to the correct views at hotmail.com. All right, friends, I've stalled enough. It's here. It's what you've all been waiting for. It's the Dunce Cap of the Month award show. When we bring out the absolute dumbest, stupidest people who you have ever seen in your life, and we make a show out of them. And it's all real. And at the end of it, somebody is going to be getting a Dunce Cap. Now, guys, this doesn't even sound kinky. This just sounds painful. How many of you have seen these stupid little spinner fidget thingies that everyone has? Now, see, I'm one of those people that are very leery of anything that comes in into fashion overnight. It's usually a bad sign. It's normally not going in the direction you want it to. Well, how about if you got a fidget spinner stuck in your vagina? No, I'm not kidding. We will go to it. I told you it's the Dunce Cap of the Month show. Weekend Herald, Edmontown woman requires surgery after fidget spinner became lodged in Virginia. Yep. The 24-year-old woman from Edmonton in Canada's Alberta province has been rushed to the hospital after a fidget spinner became stuck inside her vagina. Yeah, it just became stuck there. She didn't put it there, but it must have leapt in. We all know that they tend to do that. You leave them on the table, and the next thing you know, they just spring like a panther. I guess you got to watch them, friends. You got to watch them. Surgeons were forced to operate on the woman to remove the device, which had become stuck after she'd used it in an attempt to pleasure herself. We are confident the woman will make a full recovery, but for the moment, she does face a fairly long recovery due to the internal damage the device made, said one of the doctors who operated on the woman. According to local media reports, the woman had been introduced to fidget spinners by one of her younger cousins and had been playing with the device while in bed when the accident occurred. Yeah, playing. The family member who spoke to the media declined to be named or to name the woman involved in the incident, but it did answer some questions about what caused the spinner to become stuck. I wish I had a name. I so would have sent them a Dunce Cap. Then again, they're in Canada, so I don't usually do other countries. She's quite embarrassed by it all, as you can imagine, particularly the media attention, said the woman's relative. She was playing with the toy in her bed, and for some reason it struck her that it might be a fun way to see if she could use it to pleasure herself in hindsight. Read she didn't do it in hind, and it was a pretty stupid thing to do, so she tried spinning it near her vagina to see if it felt good. According to the relative, it did feel good at first. After she tried, she thought that she might try and insert part of the spinner into, it says into his vagina, it's a typo, but somehow she went too far. What happened next required the woman to be rushed to the emergency room, probably in her fallopian tube, by her neighbors who heard her cries for help in the bedroom. I just heard this God Almighty screaming come from the house, so we rushed over and banged on the door, said the 54-year-old's neighbor. She let us in, clutching her 54-year-old neighbor, clutching her mid-regions. I asked her what's wrong, and she choked out that she needed an ambulance. Medical experts have urged the public to take care when playing with fidget spinners and not to use them for unintended purposes. There's a time and a place for these toys, but they should never be used for sexual conduct. Now, see, the fact that you even need to mention this, you automatically know that you must be in one place and one place only, and that is when the correct views, that would be this show, does the Dunce Cap of the Month award. And we still have a couple more stories to get to before we get to our winner. I need to know which one you guys like the best here. Newsinenglish.no, I never heard of them before. A group to re-erect Trollpikken. Now, I get it. It's funny. It's a rock protrusion that looks like a penis. With people starving in the world and everything going on, they have decided that because somebody broke the penis-looking rock, that they were going ahead and spend actual money to get it reattached. The rock is going to get a reattedectomy. An appalled but enthusiastic group of activists determined that their local landmark, a stone formation called Trollpikken, that resembled an erect penis, you can see it right there. Those of you on low def, it's already on. It was cut off over the weekend, with the culprits facing 6 years in prison for environmental vandalism if caught. Reaction has been swift after the group of joggers found the tourist attraction in Eigelstad, south of Stavanger, badly damaged on Saturday morning. Kjell Bensten, who's been leading the effort to make Trollpikken a more popular tour attraction in the hills because nothing beats a rock-hard rock. Most tourist attraction in the hills of Norway's northwest coast, told local newspaper De Landtidende that someone drilled holes into the base and cut off the whole formation. Remnants included metal bolts that were found at the site, while Benston said that there were signs that clearly show how someone wanted to destroy Trollpikken. Its name has been roughly translated into the troll cock. This is terribly sad, and I'm appalled that someone could do something like that. Both the chief and the regional tourism promotion organization, Destination Stavanger, and local police have been working to attract more attention to the spot and a competition with other unusual rock formations. So police are now launching an investigation. This is what their tax dollars are going for there. You thought Varg Vikernes was weird. Are launching an investigation, confirmed Magnar Strandså, acting chief of the Eigersund police station. Tor Helgestavik of Sorpest Police District covers the entire southwest region. So they're looking for it everywhere. Meanwhile, they've got an actual GoFundMe page for it. It's not GoFundMe, you know what I mean? It's a different company, but they're actually trying to pay money to get the penis reattached, friends, and that is only 2 stories away from the dumbest. Okay, you've got 2, then you got your dummies. So I guess I guess you could say you have 3. Guys, do me a favor. Make sure you remember before I go into my last 3. Actually, the Seacrest Motel. If you go to Cedar Point, how many of you are going? It's the roller coaster capital of the world. They ruined the stand-up roller coaster there. So my wife and I, we rode the Mantis, the Rougarou. It was all right. It holds its speed better at the end, but they still ruined the coaster. Anyway, if you're going to go and ride the coaster, you're going to see if you like the Rougarou or not. You're going to need someplace to stay. Go ahead and stay at the Seacrest Motel and save a fortune. And do you want to save even more? Tell Vicky that you heard or her son, that you heard about the Seacrest Motel from Sam from the Correct Views. And I guarantee you're going to save even more money because you heard about it from us, friends. Check this out. New York Post. Woman munches on random diner's arm at a steakhouse. Now, this isn't as unusual as you would think, I guess. What the steak wasn't good enough. A woman eating lunch at Peter Luger Steakhouse in Brooklyn took a bite out of another diner's arm Sunday, cops say. The incident unfolded around 4:10 p.m. inside the South Williamsburg scale staple as stunned patrons were chowing down on succulent cuts of famous sauce, according to police. Oh, I don't want to hear any of the music. After biting the 50-year-old woman, the hungry suspect fled the restaurant and first responders treated the victim at the scene. Police said the attack appeared to be unprovoked and no arrests have been made. They have absolutely no idea who it is, so I couldn't send them the Dunce Cap of the Month award because clearly we don't know who they are. But I guarantee if you're somewhere and you're enjoying a good steak and someone's looking at you like you might want to go ahead and make sure you got some kind of protection there on the arm, a little bracelet or something. Just saying. All right, friends, got 2 left. Man walking on Turnpike offered a ride by the cops, and instead he gets arrested. Why? Dunce Cap of the Month. Robbinsville, a man walking along the New Jersey Turnpike Tuesday was found with a stolen gun after being offered a ride by state police, authorities said. The trooper arrested Jose Santiago Barrios, 30, of Philadelphia, after seeing him along the side of the southbound lanes in Robbinsville at about 4:15. So he didn't even have enough sense not to take the ride. It is a limited access road, meaning pedestrians are not permitted and troopers are supposed to give a lift to anyone walking. I've broken down on them. They're a pain. Before letting Santiago Barrios in the patrol car, the trooper frisked him and found a semi-automatic gun and hollow point bullets. State police said the trooper later learned the gun was stolen, and Santiago Barrios had a warrant out for his arrest. Now, I'm for the Second Amendment, but not with stolen guns. He was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon for an unlawful purpose, possession of hollow point bullets, and receiving stolen property following his arrest at milepost 64.5. All right, guys, and that brings us to the dumb D of the day, which is today, the dunce cap of the month. Oh my God, and it is dumb, guys. Wait, you have no idea. Everyone knows by now that global warming is the most disproven pile of malarkey that has ever posed to science. Look up the planet hasn't warmed up in 19 years. There's all kind of data that'll show it to you. You have the global warming crowd out there telling you that there's less ice than ever. And yet ice ships are getting stuck because the reality is that there's more ice than ever. Look up global warming on Teddy Stick. Type in global warming Samuel de Gangi, D-I-G-A-N-G-I. It'll come right up. You'll see all the work I've done. I list everything. I source everything. It's not fake news. It's very real news, as a matter of fact. Man-made global warming is a lie. What they want is to get into your pocket and take money out of it for any little thing they can. Driving your car, heating your house. How many people listening to this in the winter are afraid to crank the heat up a little bit, even if it's freezing, because of how much it costs? Well, a lot of that's tied into global warming, which isn't even happening. And yet Al Gore manages to come out here as if it really matters. So, friends, he wins the Dunce Cap of the Month award. And he's going to be getting a cap and everything. Let me show you at least what he did, though, before we get into it. And I will show everything that he's getting. Former Vice President, who I'm going to pause this because Fox is going to play a video, Al Gore, a champion of environmental issues, on Sunday blasted President Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the 2017 Paris Climate Agreement, saying it was reckless and indefensible. It makes no sense to me, Gore said on Fox News Sunday. I think that it was a reckless decision, an indefensible decision. All right, look, here's what an indefensible decision really is, Mr. Gore. An indefensible decision is when you deliberately pick our pockets for a known lie and continue to chastise the man who is taking back our economic progress from the hands of people that are holding it back. How many have heard about what it is that they're trying to cut down in California, the amount of carbon dioxide in the air? Do you know it'll make less than 1 percentage point of total global warming analysis? All the carbon's mostly coming from India and China anyway. So they live in this world, you see, where if America burns any carbon, it warms the planet. So what do? We buy our energy needs from Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East, places that want to kill us. Well, they're producing energy, right? So does the planet only warm, Mr. Gore, when we're producing energy and not them, because we're buying it from them and they're producing it? So why can't we be producing it ourselves? That's why you wouldn't have done the other day. I'm sorry, you're a stupid ass. You really are. Trump, citing economic reasons, decided last week not to join 6 other industrial nations in reaffirming the nation's commitment to the accord. Thank God. Which was an effort to curb global warming, which isn't happening, by reducing greenhouse gases and their air pollutants. I can prove it's not happening. Look up ClimateGate. Look up Lord Monckton. I'm giving you where to go. Gore talked in person to Trump after he won the 2016 presidential election, and Sunday said the substance of the conversation will remain confidential. But he made it clear that he tried to convince Trump to stay on the Paris Accord. In other words, he tried to make it clear to keep stealing from the average person listening to this for no reason. I did my best to persuade him, and it was the country's best interest, said the snore Gore, whose 2006 mockumentary, it's actually a documentary, but not really, there's no facts in it, An Inconvenient Truth, warns about the dangers of global warming. Keep in mind what he predicted would happen never did. I think it undermines our nation's standing in the world. It isolates us and threatens to harm humanity's ability to solve a crisis. First of all, there's no crisis. Second of all, if they're swayed by the fact that we're not paying a ridiculous tax, if that's the great threat to world peace, if we don't have to worry about North Korea or China or ISIS or no Daesh, nothing, oh, well, hell, it's just global warming, man. What an idiot. Thank God he didn't become president. We're the United States. We always have a seat at the table, EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt said. Look, that is why he has won the Dunce Cap of the Month award. And I'm going to show you what he's won, and as well as what I'm sending him. First of all, his certificate. Now you're going to get one of these certificates. I'm going to print a different one out. I'm going to autograph it, send it to you. I'll send you some bumper stickers. Word of the day is exhausted. The Dunce Cap, a first person to say it. The Dunce Cap of the Month award. This Dunce Cap of the Month award is for Al Gore, who thinks that anyone still buys his lie about global warming and about man warming the planet. Excuse me. Hey, dolt, I wrote. We know what you are. We know that you are lying. A lying shell. I can't read today. That you are a lying shell, and that you would have made the worst American leader in U.S. history if you had won. You are a liar, and there is no global warming. You do not get to pick our pockets, but you do get to win the Dunce Cap of the Month award for thinking that anyone believes you're garbage. They're going to put the website address at the bottom. And last but not least, the cat he's going to get. Yes, here it is. It's not trimmed yet. She'll trim it. There is a boat. You can see my boat that is stuck in the ice, and it says, yes, we see with a radio transmission, yes, we seem to be stuck in the ice that the dunce, Al Gore, said it would not be there. SOS. SOS. And then we have a polar bear. And it says, hey, Al, you are a dumbass. I can swim. Because how many of you remember, I'm pointing at you with a dunce cap, that's great. How many of you remember that he said the polar bears couldn't swim? And of course, here, Al Gore is a dunce, and there is his rainbow dunce, because we all know rainbows make people on the left happy. I will be trimming, or Costello will be trimming it. We'll be sending it to Al Gore, friends, and that's the Dunce Cap of the Month award. And you know what? All of that costs money. I mean, all of it does. The sending of it, the buying of the computer, the lights that are in the studio, everything. And you can donate to keep the show going. How do you do that? The correct views at hotmail.com. You donate through PayPal. Thank you, friends, for listening. That's the Dunce Cap of the Month award show. There will be one next month. It's way back this month. I normally do it at the beginning. The 4th of July holiday messed it up, and I just never got caught up again. But hey, it happened, and we'll kick it in earlier next month. Good night, friends. God bless.